Right now there's a lot of debate in the mom blogosphere particularly about getting paid for services. So Scott, from your perspective, what are some ethical ways that bloggers can go about trying to generate some revenue?
Well, ethical is the key word here. There's plenty of ways to make money. And the thing about ethics is it's kind of subjective. There's an FTC version of ethics, and then there's your version. And most importantly, though, it's going to be your reader's version of your ethics. This is what it all comes down to. You won't make money affiliate marketing without people coming to your site and clicking through and buying. You won't get sponsored until you have people coming to your site and a sponsor wants that. It's all the same thing if you think about it for a second. You need to create enough content and great content so that the sponsor will want you, so that the affiliate link will work, because it's only a very, very small percentage of click through and then purchasing. It's a 1% of 1% that'll get to a point of buying. So you really have to look at the first thing as being an expert in something. I really want to advise people on that because it's such a crowded field, especially in mom blogging. We're all talking about the same thing, me being a mom. But I write a dad blog too, and the point of that is my job is not to potentially see how I'm going to make money. It's see how I can evoke emotion and get my people to comment and to come back and make it a habit. Then when I grow that, that's when people start coming to me, because they'll look at the stats online, they'll say, who's got the people in the traffic? But once that starts influencing, once the money starts influencing what I'm saying, then I get in trouble. Then I become an advertiser overall. And I think that's when you start losing traffic. And that's where blogs, I think, start falling down. So I only recommend things I truly like, and I will disclose the link. And that's the biggest part too. Not only is it ethical, it's part of the law now to not only talk about it's an affiliate link, but to put them beside the link. It's not enough to have a blanket page anymore. So you gotta be careful because the money will really, really distract you.
Right now, a lot of companies and PR firms are looking for brand ambassadors. They're creating these programs, and sometimes they're paid and sometimes they're not, depending on what's required. I just wanted to hear your take on those programs.
Well, one of the things is you'll find a vendor, the marketplace, that wants your audience. And sadly, mom blogging is the buzz right now, which is a little bit ridiculous, but they're saying, look, because women are the greatest source of word of mouth. They understand community, and they can talk as much as anybody else, and they can spread a word about something. And people say, well, they're not getting paid, they're gonna get product, or they're gonna get a trip, or they're gonna get a service, or something else. And well, at the end of the day, if the receiver of that product and the person who's writing about it, the mom, is happy with that, then okay. But you have to understand that you need to be both happy in the deal. Because if you accept something and you feel like, I just wrote an 800-word blog post and they sent me a tin of yogurt, I'm not feeling good about that, then don't do it. That's the biggest issue of brand ambassadors or anything else, because a lot of people view on a stereotype that mom blogging means it's a hobby. And you have to understand that if you're writing a mom blog, is this a business or is it a hobby? And if it's a hobby, then get the free freaking yogurt. Get the movie pass and be happy, cool. You got free stuff. I like getting free stuff too, but I run a business. So now if people want my traffic, not only do I need your product for free, but there might be a fee for me to look at it, review it, and disclose it as well. So if it's a hobby, okay, but if it's a business, you need to treat it like one, and you need to get value just as much as they need value from that too.
For a lot of bloggers, it started out as a hobby, but now it's turning into a business, and they're struggling with trying to figure out the value of what they're providing. What's your advice for going about pricing out services?
Pricing is probably one of the hardest things to do. Actually, not just blogging, in most things in business. If you're not pricing a commodity or product, it's just air. Right? It's just that you're not pricing for the 800 words you're writing, you're pricing for the value and the traffic you've brought to those words that you're saying. And there isn't a hard answer for it. That's the thing. It's almost looking at the market and seeing how much they're willing to price. And if you can't get other people to tell you what they're charging, you then have to sit down and say, what is it worth to me? You look at it and say, how much time will this take me? But also, it's real estate on my blog. If I'm offering a square on there, I'm offering one of the week's posts for your review, you're going to say, what am I comfortable with? Because at the end of the day, people want as much as they can. That's how we work naturally. I know when I price something out, I charge somebody, I used to, way back in the day, and I'd say, well, it'd be $500 for me to do that. They're like, oh, great. I'm like, I mean, 1,000. If they took it quickly, I'm like, damn it. I wanted to make sure I could have got more. That's the biggest hesitation you get. So at the end of the day, it comes down to not what they're getting or what they're getting, but what you will be comfortable with taking for whatever that service you're going to provide. That's really all I can do, and ask your price. And if you're not confident in saying your price, you're not going to get it. So you have to pick a number that you're confident in and comfortable in to reward yourself to.
Okay, so what's your advice then for the bloggers who want to figure out the best practices for this space? Who should they look to? What should they read?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things you're looking at, the words best practices, and it is all practice. We actually don't know what we're doing. Nobody does. We're making it up as we go, and that's the biggest part about it. Nobody's sitting in a throne saying, I got it all down packed. It's just a veil we have in front of ourselves. How I did it, how somebody else did it, even when I read a parenting blog, I looked at other ones I liked, I respected, and I loved to read and said, so what are they doing? Why is it working for them? But you also don't see behind the scenes. Maybe it isn't working for them. Maybe they're starving. Maybe they're actually not doing what they should. Maybe they're having a whole problem. They're not making the money you think they are. They don't have the list that you think they do. The biggest issue is find the ones that you enjoy, you read, and then drill down to say why. Why do I like those things? It's called benchmarking. It is called best practice. But let's not make it fancy. Look at the ones that are doing it that you admire and see why. And then you know what you can actually do? Ask the person. You can actually write to them and say, drop them a tweet, drop them an email, find them on Facebook and say, if you could go back to when you started your blog, what 3 things would you have done differently? That'll get answers immediately. It's the best questions I've ever asked. When I started out in business, I asked that to 100 speakers because I went into the business and I got 90 replies. That's a hell of a response, right? What would you do differently if you go back and start again? I guarantee you'll get answers. Ask me, I'll answer you too.
Some have said that 2010 is the year of the daddy blogger. What's your take on the daddy blogging phenomenon?
Year of the daddy blogger. Writing a blog called Undaddy, for me, I go on the outside of what's usually talked about. I don't think it's socially as acceptable and out there on the forefront of guys talking about being a dad. We're so focused on it. It's been since the dawn of business time that you just keep going and you provide for the family. You tip your cap as you're leaving the day and grab your briefcase and provide for that spiraled ham that's going to be on the table at the end of the day. I don't think it's the next thing. I think that great content is the thing now, and it will be the next thing next year, and it was last year. We keep trying to pigeonhole, and that kills me. We pigeonhole mom bloggers. Now we're saying maybe dad bloggers. It's just people that create great content, and just niches pop up, and people have to grasp on them. You know what the best niche to be in? Writing something you love. That's the best freaking niche you can be in. I don't want a dad to start writing a dad blog because, well, that's the thing to do. I don't want a mom writing a mom blog because you've heard that's the way to get free product. Find something you love to talk about and talk about it. There's your magic right there.